What's up? My name's Kamal, and yeah, gonna change the way this 350Z looks. So yeah, this vehicle was kind of a test vehicle for just a couple different things. One of the first things was this zebra vinyl wrap. It's one of the first things I wrapped, and this was just a good vehicle to just try it out on. This because I just wanted to do the doors and the zebra thing to kind of match the 350Z. The only thing is the quality of this wrap was not that great. You can see that it's cracking a bunch and it's got a lot of these like wrinkles here. When completing it, it actually was smooth, but yeah, it was good practice for how we ended up fully wrapping the FJ Cruiser that my dad has, and also the Porsche Cayenne, which we've wrapped the hood twice. We did a blue once, then changed it to copper, and then we also ended up wrapping the trunk copper because that car was totaled and we rebuilt it, and the trunk was blue, didn't really match the car, so ended up wrapping it in the copper as well to match the front. The other colors on this car that you can see are the red up here on the fenders and the front bumper, and then this like greenish color back here, and those are all plasti dip. So the idea is to just take all of this back off to the original color of black. So yeah, I kind of learned with the plasti dip that you really don't want to use the cans if you can afford to do the kit that you can get, which is like an actual paint gun type thing. If you wanted to fully plasti dip the car, I think the cost of cans would be about the same, and I don't think that the quality is good. Yeah, it's the only thing I've plasti dipped really. It's been on here for years and years, so it really doesn't look as good as it did right after it was done. And the problem with this is this was supposed to be like a color shift plasti dip, which was also in cans. And I don't know if it was like the humidity on the day that I did it that was affecting the way it was spraying, but it was just really fuzzy looking and it looked horrible. So I actually purposefully started spraying it super heavy because I wanted to I'll just get this like dripping effect. It looked kind of cool, but for the long run, I knew I was going to change it eventually. Down here, it actually came out much better. I don't know why. It was a lot smoother, and that was what the whole thing was supposed to look like, but everywhere up here just had this weird texture to it. So that's where we're going to start today, and we'll see how tricky it is with it being this old. Hopefully it doesn't give me that much trouble, but I'm kind of worried that it might. So right now I'm in the process of peeling this off, and surprisingly it is peeling off. Something I have actually in this bag is like a spray bottle. This is from dipyourcar.com. This one's to clean the surface before doing the plasti dip, and I actually bought one that you can spray onto plasti dip and it'll kind of like cause it to deteriorate, and then you can like wipe it off, but it's looking like I might be able to peel all this off. We'll see how much I can get off by hand. It's being more kind than I thought it would be after being on here for a couple of years. So yeah, I'll show you guys what it looks like afterward. So as you can see, there's just these spots that I guess I applied it thinner, and that's why they almost look darker. The areas where it's thinner, it didn't want to peel as easily. It's kind of like I had to keep picking at it. So that's where I'm gonna use this spray I have. So yeah, I've kept this stuff in these bags because, as you can see, it's called dip dissolver, and you can tell it's kind of like seeping through this thing. I mean, I guess it's somewhat erosive, and that's how it works. I guess I'm gonna take this outside and spray these areas, and then see how well it works to wipe the rest of this plasti dip off. And this is what it looks like now after the dip dissolve, which it worked pretty well. It's all good now. So yeah, I pretty much did the dip dissolve over the like heavy areas where it needed it, and then I used my soapy water and I kind of just tried to clean up the whole bumper. But yeah, you can see like this bumper has just rock chips and scrapes kind of all over it. When the plastic dip was fresh, it did actually do a good job of hiding all that, but we're gonna go back to just straight black. I already like the way it looks just with the front bumper, so still got a lot to do, but we'll get to it. So here's as far as I got today. Have to take the wheel off to get this fender because there's two 10 millimeters at the bottom that actually go right here. You have to pull back the side skirt to get to them. Then you have to open the door to get to that one. Then you got all these along here. It actually, you can see those two holes right there. It goes under these two screws. So you just have to remove these, and then once you have everything else loose, it actually just slides out and you can put those two bolts back in there. The headlight's pretty easy too. It's just 3 10 millimeters to hold that on. Haven't started on this side yet, but it's getting a little late, so I'm gonna call it a night. So yeah, good progress for today. All right, so I just finished taking apart the fender on this side. And the headlight, right now this thing's bare bones in the front. Some of you might be wondering why I even took this stuff off just to remove the plasti dip, and one of the main reasons is because when I sprayed all of these with the red plasti dip, I also had them off the car, so there's kind of like the edges and the nooks and crannies that if I had just left it all on here, it'd still be there. And like you saw how I pointed out how I cleaned this one, I kind of just wanted to be able to get all of the plasti dip even off like areas like this that are hidden. So next step is just peeling the plasti dips on the fenders and using that dip dissolve stuff to get in the areas that don't actually peel off. As you all can see, it's coming apart in pieces. Definitely pretty brittle after all this time, and especially right here where I guess the sun got it pretty good. This is gonna be the really tricky part because it's just gonna keep breaking apart as I try to get this section. So let me get the rest of it, and then yeah, I've got some stuff to kind of clean the residue off of the door. Yeah, when you buy wraps as well, they usually specify like how many years they should be good for. And I guess if you go over that time, you kind of have to deal with this where it's breaking apart. So as you all saw, I got the taillights off, and I also removed these rubber seals that run along here because some of the plasti dip is kind of wrapped around this edge. And this plasti dip's been a lot more difficult to remove than the fenders, and I think it's because it's like been a thinner layer, so there's still a good bit of areas where you can't even see where it is removed. There's like still little specks of it. So I've just been trying to get as much of it off as I can, and Miranda's out here helping me now. And she started using the dip dissolve, which I showed you guys earlier. It makes it a lot easier. It's just you have to have enough of it, I guess. That's crazy. And then she's just using one of those tools we use for vinyl wrapping. And then the areas where it's not as thick as that, she just was using a rag like on the other side I showed you. That edge, we just sprayed it on there, you let it soak, and then it can just wipe away basically. So I'm gonna keep picking at this and get as much as I can, and then probably just end up using the dip dissolve. The only thing is, might run out of it at one point.
We're gonna need more.
Yeah, we're gonna keep working on this and see how much we can get done tonight.